Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege. What am I? I'm ahead of myself. Welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 337. So I thought we would start this vlog with a little field trip. I need to go to my lot to see what's happening, but something did happen. Actually, let's get in the car. All right, so here's the plan. Gonna run around, take you with me, talk about some of the updates, some interesting things that have recently happened, and then I'm gonna come back to the office, sit down, and talk about some of the business questions. One specifically has to do with the PPC loan that Tiege Hanley got back when COVID started for $422,000. If you wanna know what we actually did with the money and how it helped us or hurt us, I'm actually gonna discuss that because somebody was curious. I'm also still rocking the G35, what? Yes, and it's sexy. All right, so something cool happened. All right, I want to give you a Salon update, actually. Things are going really well at Salon Posta. Like crazy. We actually had to add another shampoo bowl upstairs. We're adding like 6 more stations. Like, we are busy. We are really busy. And it's great. And I just got an email, and it was from who is he? He is the main person at the Historic Society for Cobb County, the county that we live. Apparently, I have won an award for my work restoring that historic building. And so I am going to be attending an award ceremony on May 20th or 21st. I forget what the date is, where I'm actually going to receive my award for fixing up that church. And I'm like, I can't tell you how excited and honored I am, and just happy that I was able to do that and do that for the community. But you know, there was also a selfish element to that. You know, we created a business that is thriving and kicking a lot of ass. Something else in terms of salon news, Steven sent me a text 2 nights ago. Apparently, his old business partners are trying to sell the old salon. Apparently, Steven's old business partners don't want to be in the salon business anymore, and so they're trying to actually sell the business as is for like $500,000, $500,000. Now, something interesting on LoopNet that they said is that the business was only generating $1.2 million in gross profit, which I found interesting for a few reasons. Number one, I don't believe them, because I think, like, I don't know how they are only doing that much money, because Steven was telling me basically what they were doing prior to him leaving. Now, did him leaving impact their business that much? I don't know. I don't think so, because apparently they have been very busy and very successful. But the owner, he had 2 business partners. They were husband and wife. The husband is a very angry person, and he has sent Steven just like nuisance texts, and like he got a letter from like an attorney that was absolute like bullshit. And so he's just kind of like one of those guys, which is one of the reasons why, you know, Steven didn't want to be partners with them. There are other reasons as well, not just that. But anyway, found it very interesting. Should we buy it? Hell no. We're crushing it. And we're also doing a lot more than $1.2 million in our first year. I think we did like 2 point something, I forget. We're on track though, to do like over 3 something. It's awesome. What makes it extra awesome is that I don't really have that much to do with it. It's a very passive sort of thing for me, but I love the business. It's a great business. And I thought to myself the other day, I was like, you know, if I wasn't doing YouTube videos anymore, would I want to like work at like the front desk or just like greet people? Because I just like being around people, and the energy in the salon is really spectacular. And so anyway, just a thought. I probably wouldn't do it, because that actually I don't think I'd want to be around all those women all day. Gentlemen, check it out, a porta potty. I've never been so damn excited to see a porta potty on my lot. You know what else is? The Sign, my builder, Ladisic, Fine Home. I'm gonna link to them down below. If you guys wanna go check out their website or their Instagram, I would definitely follow them, because I'm probably not gonna be posting a lot of like progress, like pictures and things of that nature on my social, just because of like privacy reasons, but I know that they will. And so if you wanna kind of follow along, they're definitely going to be, you know, updated, and you'll know which one is mine. Anyway, and then look at that, permit box. Hell yeah, all right. So the lot, we're getting ready to actually today, they're gonna start cleaning the property lines. It's all like a lot of like bushes and trees and things like that. I also got a call from the neighbor behind me. He wants to actually remove that big oak tree, which at first I was like, but I actually was like, all right, let's do it because we can plant things and I'm good with it, like whatever. I'm trying to basically be a good neighbor to all these people because I know that like right now they've got a great view of like an empty lot and like something pretty, and now they're gonna be looking at the back of my house. That house over there, I'm actually gonna be building her a fence because she doesn't have a fence, she needs one, and it's me trying to basically just be a good neighbor. And she had contacted my wife. She's like, are you getting ready to build your house? I'm like, I'm like, yeah. Dougie, what's up, buddy? What, Dougie, oh, hey, what's up, Nobody is this excited to see me other than Dougie. What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everything?
Pretty good.
Good? Dougie, Dougie. All right, I'll be back. Bank drive-through. So, what else is happening? I was so sick. Like, last vlog, I was starting to get like a little bit of a cold, right? I got run down. But it kicked my ass, and now everybody's like, oh, was it COVID? I literally took like 4 COVID tests. Unless the tests all were wrong, I think I just had a mother of horrible cold. And apparently you can still get sick. Today's the first day like I feel like a lot better. Thanks for asking. I'm kidding. Anyway, everything else is pretty good. Had a great call with the boys at Tiege Hanley yesterday. Things are moving in the right direction. We still don't have data yet from the free offer that I talked about in last vlog, but we're getting there. We're getting closer in terms of having more information, and we're this month. We are on pace. Tom just sent me an email, or us an email. We are on pace to have our best acquisition month of all time, which is substantial. Anyway, I'll be back. Actually, I'll see you at the office. Then we'll talk about the PPP loan and all sorts of other sexy business questions that you guys had. All right, hey, if you like these like road vlogs, drop them. All right, so we're back, and now I want to dive into some of these business questions. The first one is actually from Ryan Markowitz. He says, why, and it has to do with the PPP. Actually, let me just read it. He says, what did Tiege do with the $422,600 PPP loan it received on April 15th, 2020? And since the entire debt was forgiven as of January 14th, 2021, do the founders of Tiege take any personal responsibility for the current high rate of inflation that the US dollar is experiencing? Or will Aaron just fail to ever mention this government handout his business received and instead post an annual vlog complaining about his tax rate? So, great question. And for the record, taxes, I already paid them and I didn't bitch and complain. So that's the answer to your second part of the question. So let me paint the picture. So back when COVID started, all right, it hit when we locked down. Things got weird, things got crazy. The first 3 months of Tiege Hanley sales during COVID, our revenue dropped 30%. Pete and Pedro dropped substantially. And it was super scary because we didn't know. Everybody was kind of like, well, what do we do, right? We didn't even know if we were going to be able to stay in business because were we still going to be able to ship? Because, you know, in Chicago, they were shutting down, like only certain companies were able to go in and actually, you know, sell products. And so it was a super scary, horrible time for both Tiege Hanley and Pete and Pedro. And so when the PPP like option became available, we were at the point where it was so bad that we were starting to look at, all right, where do we cut our expenses? Because our monthly expenses, I forget what they were then, but what they are now, $800,000 a month are expenses. That includes like marketing, things like that, including rent and stuff like that. But a big portion of that goes to our, you know, our salaries that we pay people. We have a big team, right? And so when it became available, we said, yes, like we need like access to cash if we can in order to keep our business going. And so we got the loan and we used 100% every penny to pay salaries and keep people employed. And that is the reason why it was forgiven, because in order to have, I believe, I forget the details like specifically, but in order to have the debt forgiven, you need to show that you used it for specific things. And the things that we spent it on was to keep people employed, because that is, as a business, one of the expenses that you're gonna cut immediately, right? It's like if you've got 40 people that are working for you and sales drop 30%, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna cut the marketing spend because you need to sell product, or are you gonna start to lay people off? We were at the brink of laying a bunch of people off, but thank God we got that loan. And I should say the government handout, as you said. And really it's a taxpayer handout, because that's all the money that the government owns, or the taxes that I bitch about paying. And so that's what we did. Now, I'm sure because you wanted an answer to this question, you looked up Pete and Pedro as well, right? I know you did. If you say you didn't, you're lying, because you wanted to know what happened there. Did I take the money? So here's the deal. Pete and Pedro, sales, boom, dropped. All right, but then about a month later, it started to come back. I applied for the PPP loan and I was awarded like $100,000. I was approved for like $100,000, but I didn't need it. And so at that point, I had enough money. My staff was low enough. My marketing, like everything, like I was doing okay. And so what did I do? Did I take the money? No. I said, thanks, but no thanks, I'm gonna pass. Everybody told me I shouldn't do that. I should take the money, and even if I have to repay it later, but I didn't need the money. And so I didn't feel that it was right to do that. And so I didn't. And that's that. That's why we took the money. It went to salaries, and I feel really great about it. And honestly, it was, like I said, thank God that it was available for us, because it literally allowed us to stay in business and keep our people employed during a unprecedented pandemic. The other thing that makes me feel a little bit better, because you're asking, do we feel responsible for, the high inflation rate? As much as we can take credit for high employment, right? Not really. And the way that I think about it is, I know what I pay in taxes. And my quarterly estimated taxes that I pay 4 times a year are more than the Tiege Hanley PPP loan. So when I think about it, you can't decide where your tax dollars go, but maybe it makes me feel a little bit better that my tax dollars for 1 quarter went to support my company and keep people employed. But great question. Thanks for asking. Also, if I forgot to mention, which I did forget to mention, if you have a business question, down below, start it with business question and ask. Each week we try to get to a few of them. All right, so the next business question comes from my man, Shane Melcher. What's up, brother? You always bring it strong. I saw there was a question from you and I got excited. It says, my business is my calling, but my family is my career. Ooh, I like that already. Over the years, I've watched colleagues and friends prioritize everything but family as they become more successful. How have you or your entrepreneurial counterparts found ways to balance or counterbalance work and family? So this is an amazing question, and I think that, honestly, this is one of the hardest things that as an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to figure out, because there's only so much time in the day, right? 24 hours, they haven't figured out a way to get more, and so that's what you get. How you choose to use it is up to you. But if you've got a business, you've got entities, you've got things that you're working on, your career, your calling, you've also got this more important thing, which is your family. And what do, right? And a lot of wives or kids or family members of people that are super successful understand to some degree that a little bit there's a cost associated with being successful. A lot of times that does require the entrepreneur to spend a little bit more time at work than maybe somebody that has a 9-to-5 job and a pension and something more secure, right? How do you balance it? This is a question that only you can answer. When you're starting, it's harder, right? It's harder because you've got to put in more time, you've got to put in more effort, you've got to put in more priority to your calling, but your passion is your family. You still can't neglect them and be like, yo, I'll feed the kids next week, right? You gotta make sure that you are there and that you're a supportive husband so your wife doesn't leave you and your kids or your partner or whoever, doesn't feel like you are neglecting them. Because once that happens, all the money in the world, it doesn't matter, right? Stuff is fine. But feeling that connection, having that relationship, that's what it's all about, right? You work, you strive, you create because you want to build up something for your family, to make them more comfortable, to do things for them, to buy them maybe things or be able to pay for college or whatever it may be. And so they ultimately are the number one priority. But in order to get all the stuff you want, you've got to spend a little more time over here. In terms of balance, I'm not sure. I don't have children, but I do have a wife, I do have cats, I do have family, I do have friends. And, you know, for me, and this is a horrible analogy, but I say that my entrepreneurial endeavors are kind of like my children to some degree. I give a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort to them, right? I also think of my entrepreneurial journey or my ventures as kind of like my mistress too, right? A lot of guys, you know, cheat on their wives. I don't have any interest in that. I don't have any time. My priority, my focus, what is sexy to me and what is alluring is my business. Trying to figure things out, dealing with issues like COVID or whatever it may be. Filming this vlog, like these are the things that get me excited. These are the things that fuel my soul. My wife, the reason why I've kept her private for all these years is simply because I need that balance. I need a line drawn in the sand that this is me, this is personal, this is mine. This is for everybody. And so, great question. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how you manage it. I mean, it's a case-by-case personal thing. A lot of my friends, a lot of my entrepreneurial buddies they very much prioritize the lifestyle that their entrepreneurship or their endeavors afford them or provide for them. And so they are very, hey, I want more time with my family. And so they build a business kind of around the lifestyle that they want to live. And so some people can do that, a lot of people can't. But you know, it's really a case-by-case basis. But Shane, man, great question. The next business question comes from our friend Alpha C. Great that I can actually pronounce that. So welcome. It says, hey Aaron, have you ever thought about putting Tiege Hanley products in stores like Walmart before? Yes, and we currently have just submitted to Target again. We submitted once to Target to try and get in Target stores, and they did not like what we were presenting. And the reason is because we were trying to present the systems, and they said, no, you know, that price point will not work for our customers. We need something under, you know, $25. And so we went back. You know, once a year, basically, Target and these different big box retailers will basically say, like, all right, submit whatever you want to submit, and we'll review it. We will then schedule calls. If we are interested, you get like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or like 45 minutes in order to pitch, present, and talk about why you should be in there. And so we went back to the drawing board, and we're like, all right. And the reason why for us it would be a great thing to be in Target, it's, you know, there are a lot of reasons. Number one, it could add literally like $5 million, $6 million, $4 million to the top line. And that's a great way to grow. The other reason is diversification, right? When we went out, Tiege, to try to see about raising money, a lot of the people, the venture capital firms and private equity firms were like, you need to be more diversified. And so we diversified. You know, now we're on Amazon. We do a big business on Amazon. Lots of reviews. You know, it's great. .com, though, does the majority. If we could add that third piece as a company, we would be more diverse, but we would also be more attractive for somebody to possibly be like, yo, I want to give you $500 million. Here it is. We'll take your company, right? Not that we would take it. We'd take it and run. I'm kidding. Am I? Not really. So anyway, we went back to Target with different offerings. All right, this is our system now, like, or this is our, you know, products or whatever it is. And so we're waiting to see. It may happen, it may not. And guess what? Next year, we're gonna try again. The next business question comes from our friend User Maze Akshay. I don't know where, I rocked that one. He says, why don't you read business books? And then in quotes, what got you here won't get you there. And I 100% agree with you, which is something I'm not reading necessarily more books, but I am seeking more information and knowledge about business. That's something that has been made abundantly clear. You know, I got comfortable, I got a little bit complacent, you know, and when I get there, I know that something's off. And so that podcast that I talked about with Alex Ramosi and Grant Cardone really got me thinking about, all right, there's something bigger, there's something better. I gotta push myself. And so I have been, but I just don't like to read because it's a weird thing. Like, I got this weird issue. I'm not like dyslexic or anything, but I got a weird thing about reading. I just don't enjoy it. The last business question comes from our friend Dan B. It says, business question, kinda. Does it matter to you why people buy your products? No judgments at all, but if someone buys Tiege because they want to support your business or if they genuinely love the product, does it matter? Not really. It doesn't matter. You know, am I humbled and honored that you would try it just because you want to support me? Yeah, and I know that a lot of people, when we started Tiege Hanley, or any of my businesses, that's why they do it. That's why, you know, a lot of people buy creators like merch and stuff like that. It's to support them, to say thanks and I appreciate you. And so that is something that is unbelievable. And, you know, it's amazing. But, you know, one of the other things is that if I created shitty products, people wouldn't do it, right? They wouldn't buy it. And that would be, you know, sort of the name of the game, and people would know, hey, you know, I support him, but you know, I'm going to support him in other ways, but I'm not going to continue to buy his products. But, you know, that's one of the reasons why it's so critical that I create amazing products, because I want to live up to the expectation that you have and deliver. And I really feel like I have. You know, some of you say I didn't, and disagree, but that's fine. But I also have just never felt comfortable setting up something like a Patreon account, right? Like, there are a lot of creators that make money because they're not necessarily monetizing their brand or their content or whatever it is through auxiliary means like products or seminars or workshops or e-products. And so they'll set up like a Patreon, right? Where it's like, hey, if you want to support me, you know, support me, but it's basically like a handout. And so I've never been comfortable with that. And so I always think, okay, I'm going to make money through advertising. I'm also going to make money through creating great products that hopefully my audience likes and loves and continues to use. And so that's kind of the strategy and model that I took, but not that there's one way or the other that's right or wrong, but that's what this guy does. Gentlemen, something else this guy does is love you more than our double monk strap shoes. Thanks for everything. You got a business question down below. Started with business question and ask. Next week, more of them and an update. Bye. Love you. See ya.